Hey girl, hey, it's your girl Loretta here, and welcome back to my channel. Listen, if you're new here, welcome. This is the channel where we talk all things soul care and all things self-care. We choose to make the most out of our day, knowing that every day is a different day. So listen, y'all, this month is March and it's National Reading Month, but it's also Women's History Month. And so what I wanted to do on the channel this month is dedicate my videos to those two initiatives. So this video will be all about reading, but I wanted to call this video Feeding Your Spirit because I feel like it's very important to make sure that what we're reading feeds our spirit, right? Because again, on this channel, we talk all things soul care and all things self-care. So reading can be an incredibly therapeutic activity because it provides us with an escape from daily life. Like it literally can transport us to a different world. And it also provides us with a much needed break from the hustle and bustle of life. And not only can reading be a great way to relax and escape, but it also can provide us with an opportunity, y'all, to learn and grow. In other words, it helps us to expand our knowledge. So basically what I'm trying to say is that reading can be incredibly rewarding and beneficial. Not only can it help us relax and escape our everyday life, but it also can help us to learn and gain insight. While also improving our writing and language abilities. And so I totally encourage you, this month and really all year, the year 2023, like make it a goal to feed your spirit through reading. And I know that that's something that I'm very passionate about this year. My goal, and I'm gonna be transparent because again, on this channel, we're growing together, and I always say that we keep it hot on this channel. We're honest, we're open and transparent. And so I want to be that with you all right now and let you know that my goal this year is to read 5 whole books of just self-development reading for myself. And I know for some of you, you're like, 5 books, girl, that's nothing. I'll read 5, a week. I don't have the time or the capacity to do that. I wish I did, but I don't. And so I have to do what I know I can do, right? Because I'm also about SMART goals, like doing things that I know I can tangibly achieve. And so I have some books here. I think this actually is, this is more than 5, but I've already read one of these books, and actually the other one is a devotional, but I wanted to kind of like let you all see some of the things that I either have read or am reading right now to feed my spirit. So the first one is by, I call him like my god dad, Dr. A.R. Bernard. If you have not heard of Dr. A.R. Bernard, you have been sleeping, okay? Because he is an amazing, prolific theologian. Oh my gosh, Dr. Bernard wears so many hats, one of which is an author. He wrote this book called 4 Things Women Want from a Man. And when I tell you, this blessed my life. I actually read this with Cecil. We read this together because Dr. Bernard actually married us. And we actually flew to New York. His church is in New York. It's called Christian Cultural Center. For premarital counseling. We would fly back and forth and we had premarital counseling with him. And so he had us read this together, and it was just so transformational, y'all, because basically he just goes through the fact that, women, this is what we want from a man. Like, not only is this what we want from a man, sorry y'all, look, we're gonna be transparent, my phone is dinging. This is not only what we want from a man, but this is also what we need from a man. And then he also, charges the man to basically, in order for us to have a healthy relationship, to listen to what we need and what we want. He surveys women, he has conversations with women of all different walks of life. So it's really, really a good book. I totally recommend it for those who are single, but also those who are married, especially if you are going through a bump in the road in your marriage right now. Read this book. It's gonna really help you, even to be able to help you communicate with your spouse. So that's one. The second book that I have that I wanted to show you guys was actually from a newfound sister. It's funny because we're in the same state, but we just started to connect. But her name is Tatiana Merritt, and she's actually a pastor in Detroit. And Tatiana is just so graceful and poised, and she wrote this devotional, and it's basically just like a love letter to God. And I love it, you guys, because it literally, I have been, and she's just so beautiful, and just look at this. I mean, come on, right? But I love it because it helps me to continue with my routine of that daily time spent with God. And that's really why she wrote it. And what I also love is it has, oops, sorry, y'all. It has a daytime devotional, but the unique thing about her book is it also has a nighttime one. So before I lay my head down, I literally can read. I can read one of the devotionals before I go to sleep. And so I'm able to meditate on the Word of God and able to meditate on positivity before I go to bed. So shout out to Tatiana Merritt. Please get her book too. It's really, really good. I think you can go right on her website. And we'll go ahead and just put all this in this video so you guys can get access to these books. Okay, the next one, y'all, this book right here. This one wrecked my whole life. Okay. I read this book. This is by Priscilla Shirer, one of my mentors, and just one of the most dynamic women of God in the kingdom, if you know, I believe. She is an amazing minister, amazing speaker and teacher of the word. But this book is called this book is called Life Interrupted, Navigating the Unexpected. I read this book when I was still single. I had just moved to my own home, my condo, and I was just in a place where honestly, most of my friends were either gotten married, were expecting a kid, or just really thriving in their careers. And I had literally just moved back from grad school from Chicago back to Michigan, and I just felt so just unsure of life. Like, didn't know what was going on with my life. I thought that, I don't know if I've shared this before, but I'm theatrical. I actually am an actor. I thought that I was going to move to LA. I thought that that was the trajectory of my life, that I was going to be this, like, I don't know about A-list actor, okay, but I was going to be an actor on the list, okay, and it just did not pan out that way. And so I moved back to Michigan, and again, all of my support system, they were building their lives and celebrating so many great things. And here I was. I mean, I celebrated home ownership. That was cool. But I was also alone in my home. And so I read this book. My mom gave me this book to read, and it just changed my whole perspective on when life is interrupted, when your plans are interrupted, how God orchestrates all of that for your good. And so I totally recommend, if you are in a season of really looking at purpose and trying to figure out purpose, read this book, y'all. It's gonna change your whole life. And shout out to my sis Priscilla Shirer. All right, y'all. These are the three that I am right now in the thick of reading, because I have read this one. Obviously, I'm still reading this one, and I told you I read Dr. Bernard's book. Don't Settle for Safe by Pastor Sarah Jakes Roberts. This book is so good. Someone had recommended this book to me. They had read it, and basically it's talking about making sure that you're not settling just for a safe life. In other words, living your life's purpose, living your life out loud, and living the life that God envisioned, or that God has for you. The life that, you know, the amazing life that God actually has orchestrated for you. And so I just started reading it, but I can say that already I love it. She's super transparent anyway, as a pastor, and I love that about Sarah and her ministry. But yeah, I would say, yeah, please read it. It says embracing the uncomfortable to become unstoppable, because she also talks about, like, you have to embrace, like, the uncomfortable seasons of your life, the uncomfortable feelings. You know, you got to go through all of that. And, like, if that takes therapy, if that takes, you know, a lot of prayer, processing, whatever it is, you have to get through that trauma and through those seasons of your life in order to be able to live the life that God has for you. So it's a really dope book. I'm excited to continue reading it. I might do like another review or something after I read it like I did for this, but I already know it's going to bless me. Okay, so this book was given to me when I was in that single season in my condo, and I started reading it, but then I stopped because y'all, look how big this book is. Okay, I don't have the, you see what I'm saying? I like reading, but I don't like reading. Is anybody else like that? Like, I like reading, but I don't like, so, you know, and there was no audible version for this book because what it is, it's actually a workbook. It's called The Money Book for the Young, Fabulous, here it is, and Broke. Yep, I said it, and Broke by Susie Orman. It's such a good book, y'all. It's all about money management. She breaks down every terminology in terms of money. I mean, literally from something as simple as credit score to going into detail purchases for homes and I mean, just, it's really investments. I mean, she goes through and she has a whole glossary, because for me, what I wanted to do and what I want to do, which is why I'm rereading it, actually finishing it, because I never finished it, is I want to be more financially literate, if that makes sense. Like, I know about finances, but this season I was telling my husband, like, I just want to be able to like have all the conversations, right, and be more knowledgeable, you know, in all the things that that I'm doing. And so in terms of financial freedom and paying off debt and all that, we're working on those things. But I just want to make sure that I know more about finances so that I can teach my children, because I have little ones and I want them to know a lot of this stuff. But if I don't fully know how to explain it, you know, because I might not fully know it, then I can't do that. So I would say if you know, are on this road of like trying to get your money, your coins together, if you're in this season of really trying to have financial freedom, or even just buying a new home, buying a car, buying a new home, read this book. It's really good. My girl Marielle Lou, I don't know if you watch Fox 2, but Marielle gave me this book. She actually recommended it to me. So I would say definitely read it. And lastly, this book right here, Anyone Who Speaks, and I'm not saying on platform, if you speak anything, you need to read this book. Women, this is a great book for us. Successful Women Speak Differently. This is by Valerie Burton. Valerie Burton is a life coach and a motivational speaker. She's amazing. I love Valerie. She's also another mentor of mine. But she basically just helps people to get unstuck in their mindset. And in this book, she says, stop underestimating yourself. You are capable of far more than you know. And she says most successful women, we speak differently, not just on platform, but we speak differently to ourselves. Like, what we say to ourselves is different than what an unsuccessful woman says to herself. And so, girl, this is such a good book, because it really just gives you authority over your mouth. And we know that the word says that too, like life and death is in the power of the tongue. And so she really tackles that. She's also a Christian. And so she goes through, she gives you scriptural references, and she really just affirms you and validates the fact that you have a voice, that your voice matters, and that what you say with your voice matters. So I would definitely encourage this book as well. So I hope that this has, been a blessing to you guys, that this video has, just giving you some new reads for either the month or for the year. We wanted to do something different again, like I said, for this month, and this is kind of like a little book club. We wanted to just make sure that we gave you all some tools to continue on this journey of becoming the best versions of yourselves. And that is so important to me. I mean, because to me, in order to become the best, in order to do what God has called us to do, we have to be the best versions of ourselves. And the only way that we can do that is through doing the work. And so I hope that you continue down this journey with me of feeding your spirit through reading, because we know that knowledge is power. So until we meet again, I hope that this has been a great video, that you got some cool tools, and hopefully you will subscribe if you haven't subscribed so that you can continue to journey with us on this channel, and we hope to see you next time.